Welcome back, race fans. Tonight, round number 4 of the top 16, season 14 of the Harpoon Design Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. We are down south in the Lone Star State, Texas Motor Speedway. Presented to you all by MaxspeedTV. Myself, Joshua Medlock, alongside Will Roberts tonight. Will, man, back in action again with these guys. The mile-and-a-half track of Texas. What do you expect out here, and how are you doing, buddy?
Doing fairly decent this evening, Joshua. Yeah, I expect a pretty good race overall, and hopes. It is a pretty wide track. There's a lot of places to go, but sometimes can only seem to be one lane. So hopefully, throughout the course of this race, we'll see multiple groups come into effect. But what to expect? I expect a lot of hard charging on these on the initial start and following restarts throughout the race. Maybe a few cautions. Texas seems to provide some unfortunate casualties here and there. So uh, just almost an unknown because
Yeah,
Texas is one of those never can tell type of races. Going into it, you think, oh man, it it could bring wreck after wreck, or it could just be all right after the initial start. Everybody just gets kind of single filed out. But Texas is almost an unknown at times, Joshua.
oh, yeah, it is. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week coming into tonight. I did say it was kind of like a super speedway, and, in a sense, it is. It is not a super speedway. They will be able to draft off of one another while the tires are fresh. Once the tires fall off, then they will start to get spread out over time. So we'll see exactly how the cautions play into a factor. Of course, they do have the stage out here tonight. White flag at 45, caution will fly at 46, which is going to bring us to our pre-race analytics here with an air tip, and a strong wind out there
Yeah,
out of the south at about 13 miles an hour. So, the air temp's not bad. Track temp's only at 90. They're going to be dealing with, it looks like, some wind out of the south. So I'm not exactly sure how this track is placed, but they're going to be dealing with some wind regardless. 167 laps here tonight, 250 and a half miles. Like I said, the stage. Now that tires could play a huge factor out here. They are going to have to take care of their tires for sure, but I think the first part of the race, Will, it's going to be that stage break, because we was talking to the guys earlier about that fuel window, and it's looking at about 43 to 46 laps. Stage is, like I said, at the end of 45 when they take 46. So it's going to be really close on fuel.
most definitely, very close to the nail. Um, I would expect some not to charge early in this first stage. Maybe save what they can, then charge, like we saw um, what happened at Kansas with um, Mark Whitley. He kind of fell back. He was going to save to a certain number. He saved to that number, but he even admitted he probably waited a little bit to kind of make that charge. If he would have charged a little bit sooner, he probably would have got a couple of better positions in that stage. But that's all a game of risk in a way. Like, do you want to set back and then charge, or what do you do in this first
Yeah.
part of the race, like you said, to get those valuable points? They do race for stage points here, so
Yeah, and stage points and points in general is so important, especially with the top 16. They're vying for a championship. Mark Whitley holds the top spot here at 3,156. Kyle Heath is not moving either. He's in second, 3,145. He's only 11 behind Mark. Then a little bit of a gap between Kyle and Brandon here. About 25 points separate them two. Brandon in third. He's only 36 behind Mark. Chris Paff in fourth at 31.06, 50 behind the leader, 14 behind Brandon. Jeff Gilmore did move up a spot into fifth at 3,088. He is 68 back behind the leader, but only 18 behind Chris. Jim Coleman'sberger's down a spot into sixth. I was informed earlier that Jim is not going to be able to make it tonight. So, hopefully he'll be able to bounce back next week and, pick up some points. But tonight's really going to put a damper on him. At 3,084, 72 behind the leader and 4 behind Jeff. Jason Adams up a spot into seventh at 3,078. 78 behind the leader and 6 behind Jim. Robbie Stewart in eighth at 3,077. 79 behind the leader and 1 behind Jason. Gary Slapinski up 2 into ninth. 3,070, 86 behind the leader and 7 behind Robbie. Zach Deutscher up 2, cracking the top 10 in 10th at 3,069. 87 behind the leader and 1 behind Gary. Philip Bridgman down a spot into 11th at 30,64. 92 behind the leader and 5 behind Zach. Robbie Darnell up 2 spots into 12th, 3,051. 105 behind the leader and 13 behind Phillip. Keith Hurlbutt down 5 spots into 13th at 3,045. 111 behind the leader and 6 behind Darnell. Kevin Roy down a spot into 14th at 3,028. 128 behind the leader. And 17 behind Keith. And Hunter Hayward is not moving. He's going to be in 15th at 2,997. 159 behind the leader and 31 behind Kevin. And Clifton Ashley is going to round out the 16 drivers vying for the championship here in 16th at 2,995. 161 behind the leader and 2 behind Hunter. So we could have some movement going into next week, folks. We'll get more on that here in just a little bit, but we are going to step aside and play the national anthem provided by Madison Rising. Qualifying here at Texas will be underway when we come back.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the praise, and the home of the brave.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
Alrighty, folks, we are back. Qualifying is underway here tonight at Texas. Several drivers have put in a time. Robbie Stewart just took his first lap there, and that's going to put him up into 8th. Right now, Gary Slapinski up at the top spot. Mark Whitley in 2nd. Zach Deutscher in 4th. Kyle Heath in 3rd. Brandon Sheets rounding out the top 5, but we still have several drivers out here on the track. Michael DeWalt and Austin Slayers out here as well. We'll see if these two right here can get up and knock Gary off of that top board here. Michael going into 9th there. I think we're going to have a pretty good race out here tonight, though, Will.
Yes, just off the qualifying times, it seems like almost each and every week these SRU Cup drivers tight-knit field in qualifying, even though we always say qualifying is not the race, but, it also just shows, just the quick pace that some of these drivers are able to have amongst themselves and kind of, in a way, bragging rights. A tiny bit, but also, like we say, really good to have that longevity speed there, that long run speed, that overall consecutive, just laying down consecutive laps that can maintain that speed. It's very hard to do. And some tracks, can be very abrasive. The tire wear can be so drastic that you do only get a couple of laps off of the tire that is going to be extremely fast, as Austin kind of tags the wall there off of turn 4. But
yeah, it looks like he is going to be officially done. Coming down to the final 40 seconds left. Not enough time for anybody else to get out here. But Gary Slapinski is going to hold on to the top spot. We're going to go ahead and drag him down here tonight. Gary grabbing the pole out here tonight at Texas, bud. You still have some work cut out for you, but man, what do you got to do out here tonight, man?
I don't know. I got a lot of work to do. I think I'm pretty much out of it, but I'm just gonna go out here and have some fun. I mean, well, I'll do anything to help my teammate too. So I'll help him out, but I'm not gonna do anything dirty, nothing like that though. But I'm out here to support my teammate. That's basically what I'm out here, and support my sponsor and everything else, and put this both of our machines up front. That's awesome. So I'm very happy about that.
Oh wow. So all right. So well, yeah, you and Mark starting up at the top here, 1-2, definitely going to be working together throughout the race out here tonight. So hopefully, nothing major happens, but we do know Texas can make it or break it for drivers, especially the way it is, Gary. So it's not an easy track.
It's not. It's tricky, especially 3 and 4. It's either get too tight or whatever, or coming off of 2 could get too loose, and that's what we're going to be fighting tonight. So it's going to be plenty of action out there. It's going to be probably hard to pass. So tire management, everybody. Tire management.
Tires are going to be a big key out here tonight for sure. You might as well just throw Atlanta in this situation. Old Atlanta, not the new one. All righty, Gary.
Absolutely.
Yep. We're going to let you get to it, man. Good luck down there. Congratulations on the pole this evening.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get them down on the grid here tonight. MaxspeedTV starting grid. Gary Slapinski with a 29.820. Quick enough for the top spot. Congratulations to the 78 on the pole. His teammate in the 77, Mark Whitley. Going to be starting on the outside of him in 2nd. Kyle Heath in 3rd. Zach Deutscher 4th. Michael DeWalt 5th. Brandon Sheets 6th. Mark Emery 7th. Austin Slayers in 8th. Jeff Gilmore 9th. And Robbie Stewart rounding out the top 10. Chris Paff in 11th. Brandon Hartwell in 12th. Philip Bridgman, 13th. Kevin Roy, 14th. Keith Hurlbutt, 15th. Paul Buzz Cohen in 16th. Jason Adams, 17th. And Gomez, Mark Koshik in 18th. And Christopher Campbell will round it out here tonight in 19. So it looks like we are probably going to have 18 drivers start the race out here tonight. But we got 167 laps to do this in. I almost fell out of my chair.
Yes, 167 laps, 250 miles. That is half the distance of, well, they used to run 500 miles here. They don't anymore. This year it was a 400-mile scheduled event. But anywho, we digress. Yes, it is the distance of a truck race, I do believe, is ran here is 167 laps, I want to say. So
Yeah.
it's going to be very tricky. It's a day race here at Texas, so track's going to get it's going to probably maintain that temperature throughout the race. It's not going to really cool off that much. It could actually heat up even more.
Yeah. We'll have to watch that for sure. All right, down into 3 here for the first time. Folks, pull those belts tight one more time. BNR Racing Network out there is spotting for Phil out here tonight. That would be Philip Bridgman. So good luck to all of the 18 drivers that are starting here tonight. Got 19 in the lobby. So here we go, folks. Coming out of turn number 4 for the first time here tonight. The pace car dives off to the safety of pit road. Gary Slapinski got to wait on the initial green. Into the Geico start zone here tonight. Green is out for the first time. Boogity, 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 folks. We are racing here tonight at Texas. Whoa, it did not take long either. Zach Deuscher up into 3rd, getting around Kyle Heath, falling back into 4th. Fresh tires, folks. Didn't take long for Mark Whitley to get up to the top either here, Will. He got around his teammate and Gary Slapinski, and Mark Whitley is going to lead the first lap here tonight.
Yes, Gary picked the inside lane on this initial start, being the control car, the pole sitter. He had option, and he chose that bottom lane. I do think even Mark Whitley may pick that outside lane if he is the leader come caution time or stage in, etc. Outside lane may be particularly a preferred lane to be on the restarts for the number 1 position car, just because of how good you saw Mark Whitley able to get back to the throttle before his teammate Gary down there in that bottom lane. In the bottom, you're out of throttle more just because of how much non-elevation you have. You're almost on the flat of the track in 1 and 2. You are way slower than what anybody's going to be on that outside lane, especially on the opening start of the race. Very, very cold tires. So also from the ones, those are also the ones that qualified. Those are the tires they qualified on.
Yes, yeah. So they got a little heat built up already in them. So not a lot of heat, but they do got some. I am assuming Tara is out there somewhere. Brantley Roden, my brother's out there. Brennan Kennedy. Now, Robbie Darnell unable to make it out here tonight. Having to work on his vehicle. Tough break. I mean, Robbie just cannot catch a break, whether it be in real life or out on the track, folks. He just can't catch a break. Mark Whitley still leading, however. Kyle is back up to 3rd, so he back up to where he started. Zach back into 4th. It looks like everybody pretty much still sitting around where they started. Everybody, though, single file for the most part. Getting back here to Philip Bridgman, coming up on Brandon Hartwell back here at around the 12th. But as Gary alluded to earlier here, Will, very difficult to pass.
Yes, Texas, you were out of throttle. It is a kind of a momentum-based mile and a half now. Basically, picture Kentucky, but a little bit more banking and just about as wide. So 1 and 2, you got to really work the throttle. You got to play with it. Maybe throw some brake in there. Maybe that's kind of taking a long shot.
Ooh,
3 and 4, you could pretty much probably full throttle 3 and 4, depending on about how aero tight you can get. If you're in a battle with somebody, maybe just back up your corner entry into 3, then get back into the throttle. Turn 4, that's going to be tricky in and of itself, but uh, yeah, Texas mainly just a momentum 1.5 miles, and
yeah, and we did
uh,
have a pass for second, by the way, while you were talking.
oh yes,
Cal Heath did get around Gary, so we had some side by side between Gary and Kyle. We had some side by side between Michael and Zach Deutscher. Or I got to remember, we have, thought we had 2 Zachs in here. I know we got 2 that's part of the league, but I don't think the other one's in here. So, but we did have those side-by-side battles, and then they were there, and then they were gone that quickly. So that's how quick those side-by-side battles happen.
yeah, they can really happen quick because it's all about getting that run out of turn 2 properly. And if you can get back to the throttle a bit better, get position on that car in front of you, just to where you can take that inside line away, going down the back straightaway into turn 3. And hopefully they don't really run you tight, but that's kind of what you got to do here at Texas. You kind of have to run tight.
You think they have to
We
pinch them into the corners?
Well, not necessarily, but that if you're trying to battle for that position, that is what you would want to do. But if you're just trying to ride it out, give up then yes, give the space and everything, kind of fall back, hopefully make up the position later. But sometimes that is kind of the better thing to do. Every now and again, I'm not saying yes, you do need to pinch your competitor. No. But sometimes, if it's a late race restart, maybe. But kind of like what you saw on the opening start, Mark kind of he just hugged his teammate a little bit further down to where Gary had to maybe stay out of that throttle just ever so slightly a bit more. And sometimes that is what you kind of need to do in certain situations, certain scenarios.
Yeah. I'm watching Philip Bridgman back here now. Up into 11th. Got around the other Mark Emery. Man, I hope the number 4, man, I hope his night turns around. Oh, Philip and Mark both got a little squirrely out of turn number 2. As I was talking about Mark here, hopefully his night can turn around. He gets squirrely. Philip did the same thing. So, Will, I'm probably just going to, and Philip tagging the wall there too. Man, I'm just going to have to stop talking about people.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Gilmore holding off or passing Chris Pratt there, and also the 25, Hartwell.
Yeah, looks like D-Walt getting around Zach, or Zach was trying to get around Michael, whichever.
D-Walt got around Deutscher, yes.
All right, so Michael goes up into 4th. Zach falls back into 5th. The 1 position change there for them too. Mark not really breaking away here. He's only about 0.2 of a second back or ahead of Kyle Heath. Gary's right there. They're running anywhere between about a half a second to about a second and a half. You get back here to Brandon Sheets. He is about 1.3 seconds behind Austin. That is about the first. Well, I'll get back here to Gomez. Gomez just hanging out, doing Gomez things. He's running at about 4 seconds behind Jason. And Mark Emery is down pit road. Something happened to Mark. He
could have got loose off the corner and just went to the pits. Good possibility.
he was speeding down pit road, so
maybe he could have got loose in the center of the corner and then just committed to the pit lane.
it definitely could have been. We can get a MaxspeedTV rewind on this real quickly. We're going to rewind it here, folks. Wished I had a rewind button. That'd have been cool.
He just had
yeah.
coming out of 2, he had a moment.
Out of 2, he had a moment. That's what happened. Right down into the inside wall. Takes it down pit road, and he has taken it behind the wall here 18 laps into the race.
Well, I guess I am going to have to start believing in that commentator's jinx, because, I mean, goodness gracious, Joshua, you were just talking about him, and
I know it.
It wasn't even 5 laps later that something happened to it. My goodness, it's got to be real. It has to be.
It's got to be. Every time I interview or talk about somebody, that, how good they're doing, or, hoping that their night can change around or their season changes around, something happens. So, we might have to have a broadcast of silence coming up here. 16 of you tuning in and 6 likes out there here tonight. Robbie Darnell out there. He says at least he could fix his own cars. And Mark Whitley starting to pull away. Now down to up about 7/10 over Kyle Heath. Tires starting to really show. They are running at about, almost a second difference.
And also just the dirty air, in a way, plays a huge factor. We saw Kyle was able to get past teammate Gary, and after he was able to do that, he ran up a little bit on the back of Mark, but wasn't able ever to get a pass attempt going. So Texas, very, very difficult track to pass that. Gary alluded to it in his post-qualifying interview, and it really shows. And also Kyle was getting a bit aero tight coming out of turn 4 and a couple of times behind Mark. So just not the tire wear, but also just, I think, the dirty air as well here at Texas. But still battles throughout the field. This Chris Praff, Brandon Hartwell, now Brandon Sheets battle. Seems Hartwell has got a hook on the back of the Praff machine and just kind of following him. They're just making some gains.
Yeah, sitting there watching Hartwell. That's kind of who I'm watching right now. Now Jeff Gilmore and Philip Bridgman here. Jeff is going to get around Philip, go up into that 10th spot. So Jeff trying to get back to where he started in 9th here. He's only back a position, so, I mean, we still got a long way to go before we looks like Kyle either had a moment or something, because Gary got around him. And so Kyle goes back into 3rd here. 24 laps into this race, folks. Man, we're going to be coming up on 25 laps here momentarily. So we're going to be pushing the stage here in roughly at about 21 laps. We are already getting ever so closer. Question is, are they going to be able to make it? How close is it going to be? Kevin Roy getting around Keith Hurlbut for that 14th spot. Steve Tucker out there. How you doing, Steve?
So 25 laps into this race, Joshua, we can kind of tell who has kind of charged a little bit, who has been saving. Kevin Roy, one of those people, most definitely one of the drivers that have been saving, I would like to believe. And Gary, I don't know if Gary just kind of got, eventually early goings, he was like, all right, Kyle, go on by. And then he finally, like you said a couple of laps ago, got back by Kyle. Not sure if Kyle overdrove the turn 3 entry, but as they say, back and forth comers and goers. You're seeing that here at this part of the run.
Yeah, Robbie Stewart, Jason Adams back here going. Ooh, Robbie up really into the wall there. The other Robbie, we got two Robbies. One of them's here, one of them ain't. So Robbie Stewart got really close. I think he might have even tagged the wall there, and he is losing some momentum as the 19 of Keith Hurlbutt comes up to him. But Jason, going back to that, Jason did get around him, so Jason's up to 14th after starting
I think that was
in 17th. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that was just really close racing. I think Robbie was going to kind of come down, and Jason was there. Robbie was like, whoa, let me get back up over here. Kind of just, track awareness.
Yeah, and man, you can see the speed drop too from when they started until now. When they get into the corners, they'll hit them at, well, Robbie just hit it at about 175, but look at the speed drop down to 153, and then out of 4, he picks it back up. And I noticed out of 2 on a couple of these drivers, they were getting down into the high 140 range. Well, yes. Robbie just hit 143 there. So low 140s just goes to show you the tire wear. They have got to be careful because they can spit it in a heartbeat if they get on the gas too soon. Philip Bridgman, I think, tagged the wall again. Kevin Roy getting around. Coming up on Christopher Campbell here in the 68. Oh, 18 drivers, a little bit easier to keep up with. Looks like Gomez on pit road. Mark Emery back out onto the track. Yep, both Steves here tonight.
Back out on the track. That repair took 12 laps to do, though. Sorry, Josh, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine. 6 minutes of repairs on Mark Emery's car. Mark Gomez, Koshik is down 5 laps and now. And, they keep staying green. Going to be difficult to get those laps back. A little bit easier to keep up with 18 drivers than it is, 43 drivers. But I think I would rather have 43 drivers. Nah, 16, 18 drivers here in Texas is enough. Whoa, Phillip, speed way dropping down to about 125. Back up to 150 now. Something happened to Phillip.
Possibly could have had a moment entering the corner.
Yeah.
Could have bucked out up underneath him. Getting close to that 10 lap to go marker to the end of the stage.
Yep, one stage is all they do, and then it'll be a shootout to the finish. Now, we have had only 2 different winners here in the round of 16. The 16 drivers vying for the championship. Kyle Heath. Ooh, Phillip. Where'd you go, Phillip? There you are. Kyle Heath winning round 1. Michael DeWalt winning round 2. And then Kyle Heath winning last week at Bristol. And so Kyle is looking to go back-to-back and his 3rd one of the chase. I'm not going to say it can't be done because we have already seen, mistakes made in the previous races, Will. And, Mark Whitley making that mistake last week, with that tire management cost him the race. He even said it. So we know that mistakes can be made. So what, the big question now remains, what is going to happen tonight? Can Kyle have the best of strategies from everybody and go back-to-back wins and grab his third of the top 16?
Yeah, that great question because, throughout the season, Mark Whitley, had strings of wins. Just
Yeah.
he had multiple weeks where he had, you know, 3 wins in a row throughout the season, and then gets to the playoffs. And like you said, mistakes, whether it be with strategy, tires, getting caught up in a misfortunate incidents,
Yep.
um, just different things. So Kyle Heath, at the moment, 2 for 3 in the playoffs. So
Kyle had a couple of wins, I believe, in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken. I do see one.
yes,
Yeah, he did have one win in the regular season, going all the way back to April 30th. Wow, that was a while ago. And then he comes into the chase and he's like, "All right, I'm here, guys. I'm not going to be what I was in the regular season. I'm coming in and I'm going to win this thing." Mark Whitley had
exactly.
10 wins in the regular season and here in the chase. And I'm not speaking bad about anybody, but it's kind of flipped. Mark, excellent
It's
regular season. Kyle wasn't so much. Now here in the chase, it's Kyle. So
just that luck
yep.
factor, that racing factor. Anything can always happen.
Oh
You
yeah.
never know what's going to happen from week to week, race to race.
Nope. Expect the unexpected. Hey, coming up on lap number 40 here, folks. There it is. So we are just about 7 shy, because I got to finish this lap, but 7 shy from the 3. Robbie Stewart popping the wall there, and that is going to put him a lap down because the 77 of Mark Whitley is going to get around him. Looks like Robbie is coming down pit road here. Probably has had enough of those tires, and 40 laps, I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit.
Exactly. There's especially the pace that he had kind of just fallen off. Texas can be a quite difficult track for some, and it like you said, that tire management is another thing as well. Just trying to let it roll through turns 1 and 2. Like we said, we not necessarily full throttle through 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's a different type of management there. You can in the early goings possibly, but as the runs progress, really want to let it fade a little bit more, then pick it back up. So all about trying to get it off the corner as straight as possible as well. You don't want to be janky, squirrely, twitchiness coming off the wall like we've seen some of these drivers. Sometimes you just can't help it. You just wash up out of the track, go towards the wall, and all that wheel that you've been putting into the car, correcting, trying to turn out of it, you kind of just start flopping like a fish.
Well, I am going to go ahead and ask this. We're going to be coming up on the stage here, and unless Mark has some type of malfunction out there, I think he's got a pretty good shot right now at coming and winning the stage here. Anything can happen between now and the stage, but I think Mark has got a pretty good handle on that car right now. But after the stage, after all the caution laps and everything, we're probably going to have about 118 laps, 117, 118 laps to go left in the race, just my estimate. So with that being said, I mean, what do these guys do, during, that stint? We can allude on that here in just a minute because the white flag is in the air. One more to go for Mark Whitley here to grab the stage. And of course, Mark will lead all of the laps here before the stage end. And it looks like he is starting to have some issues out there. We'll be able to talk to him here in just a minute. But out of turn number 4 here, Mark Whitley is going to lead all the laps before the stage and bring it home as the winner of stage number 1 here tonight. Or, well, the only stage. Yeah, we can allude onto that little pit thing here in just or the 117, 118 laps left to go here in just a minute. We'll talk about that because I want to ask Mark about that as well, because you know him being hello. There it goes. My chat disconnected for some reason for YouTube, and I don't know why. I think we're back though, folks. We'll get Mark Whitley down here in just a minute and have a talk with him. Brantley, you can let him know that we're gonna bring him down here. That way he can, you know, unmute. I know he can hear me, but that way we already got it planned and ahead of time. We're gonna let these guys pit though before we talk to Whitley and kind of get his take on what's gonna, you know, his plan basically here in the last half, well, little over halfway of the race. So 14 of you tuning in and 6 likes. Can we get to that 10, 15, 20 like mark here tonight, folks? Thank you, everybody, again for tuning in on MaxspeedTV. Will Roberts and myself, Joshua Medlock. Been kind of letting Will do a little bit of the talking out here tonight. My throat's rather sore, and I think it's from broadcasting. Starting to catch up to me. 7 years of this.
I think some of these drivers are going to just try to go as long as they can, and some are probably going to try to chop it in half, but
it's possible. All right, well, let's go ahead and get Mark down here real quick. Mark Whitley, bud, I know you're just pulling out of pit road here. You got the stage win out here tonight, buddy. Congratulations, but we did notice tires, you know, they're a premium here tonight, man. Talk about it. How did it feel after 46 laps?
It felt like it was a handful. It was tight and loose, and it was just all over the place. Track's very abrasive on tires, and it's very easy to miss the line. And this track's such a one-groove racetrack. You miss the line a little bit, you're going to be in deep trouble. So it's just about hitting your marks and trying to keep the wheels up under it.
Well, we still got a ways to go. Now, roughly about 117, 118 or so laps left. What is the game plan? You don't have to give your full game plan, but do you have a game plan here in the, you know, after the stage break here, maybe with the shootout to the finish?
Probably just more of the same what we've been doing, just trying to keep some clean air on the nose and take care of the tires. It seemed like it worked on the long run. I think Kyle was pushing it pretty hard there at one point, and I think he kind of tires fell off of him toward the end. So it's just going to be about trying to be balanced, aggressiveness, and cautiousness. You don't want to give up too many spots, but you don't want to go too aggressive right now.
Yeah, you think it's still early? Too early to do that?
Yeah, we've still got 2/3 of the race left.
Yeah, it's way early, so, you know, awesome driving the stage out here tonight, buddy. You know, you were a dominant factor into, you know, in the regular season. We talked about you earlier about that, you know, coming into the playoffs, though. It seems like it's kind of flipped, but we know you just had a couple of bad races, and, you know, and you got to get the groove in, a couple of mistakes being made, and, you know, it happens. So, you know, I think you got it pretty much covered on what you do and don't need to do, right?
Yeah, we've had fast cars all playoffs. It's just we've either had bad luck or just been on the wrong side of strategy. So I think we're just keep up what we're doing, and hopefully the cards fall our way this time around.
All righty, we'll let you get to it, buddy. Coming out of 4 here momentarily. So, Mark, congratulations on the stage win, man. And good luck to the rest of the race.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mark Whitley, and stages are done. Go ahead and get that off here. All right, well, here we go. Pace car lights are off. We have Whitley, Slapinski, Kyle Heath, Brandon Hartwell, Chris Papp, Brandon Sheets, Zach Deuscher, Jeff Gilmore, Christopher Campbell, Jason Adams rounding out the top 10 after the stage. Kevin Roy, Philip Bridgman, Keith Hurlbut, Austin Slayers, and Michael DeWalt trying to catch back up to him here. He is running in 15th.
Looks like he pitted the top off, so might be a bold strategy there.
Yeah, might be. Well, Robbie, hopefully you get your car situation figured out there, buddy. I think Jason sent me a message about it earlier, and he said you were having some major issues with it. So hopefully you can get that oil thing figured out. Don't want to be driving down the road and have an oil leak, that's for sure. That wouldn't be pretty. All right, pace car is off. Here we go. Coming into the Geico start zone here tonight. And the green is out. We are back underway here tonight for the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series, round number 4 of season 14 of the top 16 here at Texas. Presented to you all by MaxspeedTV. Mark Whitley got a good jump there. Now Kyle is putting some pressure there on Gary, battling for that P2 spot. Can't forget about the battles behind them here either, Will. We got Brandon Hartwell and Zach going at it. So we got some good battles.
Yeah, Kyle got there, but had to back out of the throttle. Couldn't complete the pass on the inside of Gary. And Hartwell now back to the back door of Deuscher. Deuscher now to Chris Praff, trying to make a move there, back further back through the field. You have Michael DeWalt trying to make that ground back up.
Yep.
Also, Sheets, Gilmore.
Sheets in 7th, Gilmore in 8th. A little bit of separation there at about 3/10 between Sheets and Gilmore. But Gilmore's still right there. Then you have Campbell right behind him. So,
look,
oh, Philip, check your blinker fluid there, buddy.
Philip, Keith Hurlbut, and Austin Slayers there.
Yeah,
right behind them, you got Jason Adams. So.
Austin, not. Oh, Philip!
Philip
come
gonna
on,
try
man.
to knock the wall down.
He's trying to make another lane.
Trying, but I don't know if that wall will let him.
Nope, I don't know, a concrete barrier there with that safer foam there. I mean, it's concrete and it's a safer barrier, but let me tell you, I'm sure in real life racing and even sim racing, if you got a motion rig, I'm sure that still hurts.
Oh yeah. Because you got belts that restrain you in the that's supposed to in the motion. Those big fancy ones.
Oh yeah, I would love to have a motion rig. Of course, it wouldn't fit in my house, but I would like to have one that when you're doing the flight simulator. Now Microsoft is not sponsored.
That would be cool.
It like if you flip in an aircraft, the motion sim will literally flip with you. It's the way it's made. I'd love to have one. I don't know how good it would be in racing, though, if you ended up flipping in the car. Your motion rig would be flipping every which way.
Right.
It might make you sick. I think it'd be pretty cool one time, and that'd be it.
I definitely would not want to have one of those really big fancy ones that go all about like that. No. I was never too big of a fan of roller coasters, so.
Oh, I love roller coasters. All right, back to single file action. Everybody just kind of hanging out. Whoa, Brandon, little tag in the wall there. We haven't really looked much at these, the damage there when they do tag the wall a little bit. Now, it doesn't look like they're tagging it much, just barely scraping it. You can tell, though, on Brandon's sheets that right front at the bottom, definitely some scrapage there. So he did hit the wall, and then you can see it right barely. I can't really get to it, but where that rising is, you can see it there as well. So definitely when they do scrape the wall, they do definitely get a little bit of damage, but I don't think it's really enough to cause any major harm, though. So looking at Chris Paff here in the 22 Gatorade. From 11th to 4th. Moving on up here, folks. Zach Neuscher back into 5th. Brandon Hartwell from 12th to 6th.
Just all in kind of how hard of an impact it can be. If it's just one of those scrapey scrapes,
yeah,
you can kind of get by with it. But if it's one of those like blunt force traumas, we
don't want no blunt force traumas.
No. Where you can possibly see, what's inside the car. So, yeah, everybody's kind of, for the most part, strung out. Hartwell tried to get up there to Deutscher to get something going, but it is just so difficult to get passes made here at Texas.
Yeah, it is.
Gilmore and Campbell, I think that might be the closest pairing.
At about 0.3 of a second between them. Yeah, it keeps going back and forth, but Campbell's coming. I mean, he's in the dirty air draft, I guess you could call it, of the 75. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Well, that actually brought Philip Bridgman even closer, too. So,
8th, 9th, and 10th there.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, they're getting. And Keith ain't far back here either, and nor's Jason Adams. So these guys are right here close by. Something happens, especially the closer you are together, like Gilmore and Campbell. If something happens to Gilmore, Campbell's going to have to be prepared depending on, where it's at on track. Hopefully nothing happens to Gilmore, but, I'm talking about him. So, God forbid something happens to Gilmore now. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, my goodness. I was just messing with you, Joshua, whatever I said that earlier.
Oh, no, it's the truth. Hey, speak the truth, man. I do it to Robbie Darnell all the time, every time I talk about him and how good he's doing. Well, something happens to him,
And then we find him in the wall or something, yeah.
So, I've done it to Whitley. I've done it to Gary many times. I've known Gary for a long time. I think I've done it to about every single driver that I've called, on iRacing since I've started, at least once. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 times.
Over there in the B&R racing series over there, in that league, I call all their all their races every week. So. You could kind of imagine some guys aren't too happy with me whenever I'm trying to talk them up as well, and we find them in a wall later. So
hey, it's rubbing off on you, Will.
Hey, it happens. I just look at them. I'm like, hey, I'm not cursing you, and then
Philip, God, not to interrupt you there, but I think he got a lot of that.
They're starting a dogfight now.
Yeah, he got a lot of that arrow behind Keith Hurlbutt, which upset him, and he almost got into the wall. That did allow Jason Adams to get around, so Philip going to fall back to 12th. But He is keeping up with them, but a good battle here between Keith and Jason right now. And here comes Phillip back out. Oh, Phillip!
Oh,
Oh,
is
and
he gonna? Oh, he catched it. He catched it.
he caught it, but he is blinking too. And I worry about that blinking because that can cause net code. Oh, here we go.
I was
Oh
gonna say
man.
Austin had a run on him, and he kind of started to drift up the track, walking up the track, and just unfortunate that he blinked right at the right at the time that he did, because
and see, we could see it right here on the replay here too.
Austin's very committed to that lane as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't, and I'm not blaming,
Oh,
Phillip
no,
or anything,
no.
but that
No
blinking,
blame.
man, that can cause some major problems. And I think Austin might have seen that too, or something. And unfortunately for Phillip, with the blinking issues and then, everything, it's, it caused Austin, like you said, Austin was committed to that line, and, Phillip was right there, and, stuff happened. So the first yellow here tonight, I don't know how to rule that. Blinking, racing, I'd let Robbie handle it, but, we seen it up here.
I was going to say, Joshua, there was some good hard racing involved, and just sometimes it's unfortunate that internet can lag, at the wrong best moments.
Oh yeah, and unfortunately, that's kind of what happened there. So, but
everybody brings it back down pit road here, and no surprise for that fresh tire, and
98 laps to go, so
hopefully we're not gonna have any cautions breeding cautions, and not gonna have these short stints to where oh, hey, I just ran about 15-20 laps, I'm gonna come get me another set of tires, because we've only got now there's only 2 sets of tires left in the pits. So really, we really got to judge our calls now. Really, there should only be one more set if you think about it.
Yeah, I don't think some drivers took tires from my calculations here.
You don't think so?
No, we'll talk about it here in just a minute. I want to try to get an interview in while I can, at least.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, let's go ahead and bring a driver down here. Chris Paff, buddy, how you doing here tonight?
All right, Josh, how you, bud?
Yeah, I'm here. It's Texas, man. Looks like pretty difficult to pass out there. You guys are doing a few battles here and there tonight, but mostly, for the most part, single file. You do find yourself in the 7th right now with about 95, 96, 97 laps left to go. How are you feeling out there in the 22 Gatorade here tonight?
I mean, I feel pretty good, man. My wear's good. I'm not really pushing. I'm still saving. It ain't go time just quite yet. But it feels pretty good. It's loose off too, but I think everybody's dealing with the same problem.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Well, do you have ooh, Jeff Gilmore slowed down there a little bit. Do you have a game plan going forward? Do you kind of have an area to where you think you're gonna make your push further to the front?
Yeah, I'm planning on. I got a plan in mind. I'm not going to give away all my details, but there's a plan that's put in place there.
Yeah, don't give your plan out. We don't want everybody to hear everybody's plans. We want to see it on track. That's what we want to see. So, good luck out there, Chris. Have some fun. You've moved up, so, we've still got a ways to go. It's going to be a long race still yet with the way these tires fall off, bud. So, good luck out there and hang in there, man.
Yeah, man. Just keep my nose clean. Keep these tires on me. I appreciate it. Have a good one, Josh.
You too, bud. All right, Chris Paff there in the 22. I'm sure Tara out there is like, why did you interview him? You've already jinxed several drivers out here tonight. Oh, Kyle Heath sitting on the apron here. Okay, now he's going to get going. Not sure what happened to Kyle there. But Pace car lights are off, coming to lap 72 here when we get the restart. Going to go ahead and bring up the caution number here. Now, we've had that one stage and then this caution, so a total of 2 for 9 laps, 97 laps to go. That is going to put us 96 here when we get the green. Of course, we haven't had any lead changes per se here tonight because it has been all Mark Whitley since the start of the race. Got around his teammate Gary Slapinski and has never looked back. He's led all of the laps so far, and if Mark has anything to say about it, Will, he's going to try to lead all of them.
Yeah, that best game plan sometimes is get the lead and never look back and hog all those laps. They're mine, mine, mine. You know.
Kind of like
So-
those, what is it on Ice Age where those things go mine, 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 mine.
Yes.
What are
Finding
they?
Nemo.
Yeah, seals. Yeah.
Seagulls.
Seagulls, seagulls, Finding Nemo. I don't know why I said Ice Age, but you knew what I was talking about. Here we go,
Yes, sir.
folks. Green is back out. The Harpoon Design Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series back underway here. Mark still holding strong there. Going to drop it. Well, 78 dropped it behind the 77. Gary trying to
Yes.
keep Kyle at bay, but here's the thing about Kyle. I think Kyle, you know, he understood what he did at the start of the race. I think Kyle's got a game plan going forward. And I think the drivers that did not take tires this time around, I think they've got a game plan as well, as Brantley was alluding to in chat here. Most didn't take tires, just gas. I can even see it here. It looks like the top 5 did not. Well, Chris Paff did, but Zach Deuscher did not. So we got a mixture here between tires and gas that's out here on the track.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it is interesting. Brandon Hartwell did not take tires, nor did Jeff Gilmore. Brandon Sheets looks like he might have. Austin Slayers did not. And I'm going off of...
Oh, Austin got loose right there, right in front of Campbell.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Had a moment.
Yep, he almost slayed it into the wall there, folks. Sorry, I had to.
Well, he slayed it in qualifying, so that would have been consistent.
Yeah, hey, being consistent, that's what it's all about, right?
Indeed.
Yep. And a battle for second here. Kyle getting around
And fresh
Gary.
tire, Chris.
And here comes Chris. John Black out there in chat. How you doing there, buddy? There it goes. I was wondering where my Sim Racing Unleashed emblem went up there in the ticker. It disappeared on me.
So Chris gets by Gary.
Yeah.
Kyle trying to do something now with Mark,
Mark.
perhaps. But
Oh.
how much longer can they hold back the fresh tires of Chris here in the 22 Gatorade machine?
That's going to be tough to say. Here we go. Kyle Heath down to the inside. Battle for the lead. Can Kyle steal it away from Mark this time by? We're going to find out. Whoa, that was close. I don't know who got it, though. Kyle, he did. You're right. He got it.
Yep, by ever so much, by a nose.
That
Then-
was close. Man, that was close. I honestly think oh no, it was a 31-17 to a 31-16. Wait, no, that's wrong. Man, I don't know. I have to go back and look, see how actually close that was, because that does not tell me how close it was. Boy, I wished it would have.
Oh, now Chris gets a run on the outside
Yeah.
of Mark. Now he's going to carry that. He's clear. He's going to now drop in on that bottom lane.
Watching back here,
So-
though, we've got Brandon,
Gary.
Sheets, and Gary going at it.
So Brandon now with fresh tires,
Yep.
working his way through the front of the field.
And another battle
Yes.
for the lead. Half around Kyle. Man. That just goes to show you, Will,
Oh,
the
we got it.
difference. Oh, what?
I thought there was a car sideways further back, but no, there was not. I guess they saved it.
Okay.
But yes, just the physics of the old tires, like you alluded to.
Yes.
Yes, the old tire, the tire life. Those four competitors, like you said, in the top five, Whitley, Gary, Heath, and Deutscher, they chose to save a set of tires, hoping that they may need them later on in the race. There might be, some more cautions, field throughout. Who's to tell, at this point in time? But at the moment, this is Chris's race to command.
Yep, Chris Paff leading the way. He's going to lead a second lap here tonight. Mark Whitley is not going to get the sweep of all the laps led. I know he was trying, but I think the tires kind of playing a role into that, Will. And I think it played a role into, with Mark and, Kyle Heath grabbing, a couple of laps here. And then Brandon making some moves. Mark falling back, as I said. Gary even falling backwards. Zach not able to keep up in the top five. However, still in sixth here. He has got Hartwell breathing down his neck. Couple of drivers that did not take tires. Jeff Gilmore likewise did not take tires. I'll get it out in a minute. Christopher Campbell, though, however, with a 14.3 second stop, did. I believe
Hartwell got by Deutscher.
Okay, Hartwell did get by Deutscher. So let's go ahead and check it out here. And yeah, you are correct on that. Correctamundo. So
that heat cycle just may not be treating Zach comfortably with that heat cycle of tires like the other drivers that only took gas in that prior pit stop. So,
and it looks like Brandon
Sheets
Sheets
getting, yes,
is going to get up into second around Kyle. Now, I know we've got teammates up here. I know Mark and Gary is teammates. Do you know the teammates of these drivers out here? Because I don't. I don't know from week to week who teammates are. I think Chris, Brandon, and Kyle are teammates, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought Kyle was teammates. I thought it was Brandon Sheets, Kyle Heath, Robbie, and I thought there was like 6 of them that were all like teammates.
It might
like,
be. If Tara's out there, she could tell me. I think Brantley could too. I just don't have that information in front of me.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry there, Josh.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't have the list. I think next season, if we are back on MaxspeedTV, we'll know more during the off season.
Yes.
Still got a ways to go for that, but always gotta bring it up and say if, because we just don't know from season to season. Things can change. So,
right.
But if we are back on MaxspeedTV next season, before the season begins, I will make sure that I have that list in front of me. That way I know who the teammates are, and we won't have this confusion. But, man, I got to say, Chris Paff, he has blown open the door up front.
2.5 seconds.
Yeah, 2.5 seconds over Brandon Sheets. Golly, and everybody pretty much spread out right now. They're going to be coming up on pit stops, though, here. I believe they're on about an 18, 19 lap run. Some of them are even longer on the tires, such as Kyle Heath, Mark Whitley, Gary Slapinski, Brandon Hartwell, Zach Deuscher, Jeff Gilmore, Austin Slayers, Jason Adams, and I do believe Kevin Roy is also in the mix in there as well. He is also the last driver on the lead lap, but I got to say, different strategies as we got Keith Hurlbut coming around the 68 of Christopher Campbell here for 10th. Man, I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen right now. It's going to come down to strategy, Will.
Yes, most definitely. I think that's why we saw some of those drivers and teams decide not to take that set of tires when they had that option.
Would you have done the same thing?
Oh man, I don't know. Normally, my old rule is if I'm coming down to pit under caution, I'd like to get 4 tires. But it was early in that stint. They had just started. They were about they were only about 15 laps in, if that. So it was a flip of a coin type of deal. To try to conserve that extra set of tires or not, and those guys chose that, and they're currently laying in that bed.
Yeah, when I first started iRacing, ooh, man, Gary real close to the wall. Gary's always known for that, though, getting as close to the wall as he can without hitting it. I think he does that on purpose. I think he does it just to bug me.
Now, if you're a driver, Joshua, that is extremely great at saving tires, then yes, after you've just ran, say, 10 to 15 laps, normally depending on the track, I would say Texas, yes, if I just ran 15 laps at Texas, I would love to get a set of tires, but normally you would take that chance, to save that extra set. So, it all comes with that skill of being able to save that tire, that you believe that you are capable of doing, that you're going to have to struggle with that heat cycle set of tire that you're on. So it is going to be a chore, but you got to get over it and just get to your next pit window or pit cycle, and it might be before those others that have the same amount of fuel as you do come in. You might want a short pit, maybe try to get an undercut on those guys that did take tires on that pit stop that you didn't. So that could be the game plan for the older tires.
Well, let's see
here.
here.
We'll see a trio.
I just did kind of some math here. I don't know if they could quite go this far, but if they can go all the way to lap 125 roughly, that'll put the race at about 42 to go. Now, they've already been out here. Somebody's been out here 26 plus. It shows 26 stint, but that doesn't include how long they've actually been out here on the set of tires prior to that last caution. So, you add a few laps or so onto that, then, you're looking at probably 35 plus laps. I don't think they can go to 125. I don't believe they can. They're going to have to come down.
You would like to get to that 120, 125 mark. So, like you said, you would be. It could be a race of, like you said, a race of strategy, of where you're going to have to pit twice here towards the end of this race under green flag competition if it stays green. To the extent of, okay, I got to pit, to get fresh tires and fuel. So it's going to be about anywhere between a 14 to 16-second stop in the box, give or take, roughly. And that second stop, maybe just come in and just get a quick dash of fuel, So-
I did some math here too on where we're sitting at right now, and I think I'm right. Don't quote me on it, but I think I am. Chris Paff has been out here 29 laps already. So he's going to have to pit here within about 15 laps. We got 43 to 46 is the window for fuel. Now, Chris has already used a set of tires, and it's showing here on track right now. So you add another 15 laps to where we're at right now within that window. That's going to put him at about lap 114, roughly 115, when, we could possibly see him come down pit road. You could also throw in that with how many laps are in the race, 167 minus the 115 roughly when he would come down pit road. I'm not saying that's when he's going to come down. I'm just going off of that. That still leaves 52 laps in the race. You can't go 52 laps on fuel.
Right.
So you're still looking at a splash of fuel and go.
Brantley said that he's pretty sure some guys can split this at 120. So anything quite possible. I'm more on that leaning side of we might see some guys come in and get a splash towards the end, maybe about 10, 15 to go, somewhere in that ballpark.
Brantley would be one of those guys that I would tend to.
Oh yeah.
I would tend to believe because he's spotting, he knows it. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, so. He would be one of those that I would tend to believe. I'm just going off the top of my head with a calculator of what I can see. So,
no, yeah, I'm doing the same with you. Yes, so
I'm saying
we're trying
between
our best to be.
Yeah, I'm saying between 114, 115 to 120 roughly is what I'm thinking.
Right. And then that 125 marker would get you home.
Yeah, but you can't go. You can't go to 125. I mean.
130.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
125, 130. But yeah, like you said, you can't. From where we last pitted, like you said, you can't go that far. So
I don't even think they can go to lap 120, to be honest.
Well, we're about to find out if it stays green, Joshua.
Because I'm sitting here looking
lap
at
130, 103. So
I'm sitting here looking at the stats, and I mean 34 laps for pretty much everybody out here. That's everybody. That's either fuel and tires or just fuel. So I'm just kind of looking here. 35. I'm still going to be pushing right now at about here within about 10 laps, 115. They're going to have to start coming down. I don't think they can go 120 unless they've majorly saved. I mean, I'm not a technical person. Brantley, I give you kudos for what you do out there. My call would probably be wrong. I just honestly don't think they can make it. If they do, they do. I'll keep my mouth shut about strategy.
I would say
Daryl Young out there. Bet you $20 and a chicken sandwich that the 78 makes it. He can't make it from here. There ain't no way. He'll have to pit one more time. No, he'll make it. Just a matter of make it to 120. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's like Brantley. I'm not saying Brantley's wrong either. I'm going to say 115 to 120, but man, that's still pushing it. Golly, that's still pushing it. And this is what makes it fun, folks. Me up here trying to do all this calculations with Will trying to do it. You guys out there in chatting it up. Y'all's got, math and all that y'all are doing. And it's great that we can all sit here and talk about it and argue about it, but have a good time doing it. That's what makes, me as a broadcaster and you as the fans work together, because we can all have fun, and you got to have fun, Will. If you ain't having fun doing it, why do it?
Exactly. Got to have the fun. And for the most part, seems like the cars with the older tire compared to the fresher tire cars kind of equalize.
Yeah,
Everybody's
they
kind of
have.
stabilized.
Man, no, Chris Paff,
So
4 seconds ahead of Brandon Sheets. But I think that's going to change here momentarily. So the top, let me see here. Everybody except for Kevin Roy. Now, Kevin's been out here at about 37 laps. Now, he is the last driver on the lead lap, so he's going to be able to go a couple of more laps more than these other guys. Will Kevin do it? I don't know. Kevin is one of those guys, he could pit when, the leaders start pitting, and he might try to make a strategy out of it. You never know what Kevin's going to do. But he's only been out here 38 laps. Everybody else has been out here 40. That's 5 to 6 lap difference here. I mean, they're coming up within that window. I'm still saying 115, 116 here, folks. If they go 120, if a driver goes 120 laps out here tonight before this little stint here, let me go ahead and I can do the math on this one. So 167 minus 120 is 47 laps. They would be able to potentially make it to the end. Save a couple of laps on fuel, Will, you're good to go. Then hammer down and just take off. If they can't go to 120, they will not be able to make it.
that fourth place battle between Hartwell and Whitley.
Yeah.
Pretty good scrap at the moment.
Now they're getting a little
Like you
scrappy
said,
out here.
I believe we saw in the opening 46, 47-ish laps there. We saw those drivers able to make it. I don't want to say just fine. They probably did have to save maybe a half a lap to a lap, perhaps. Also, just that tire wear after a while, just that out of throttle time helped a lot. So,
we can tell that the difference, though. Everybody kind of burnt their stuff up here.
Oh yeah.
They're 43 laps into this run, plus some, depending on who you are. And on that last run, Chris, man, he's just almost 5 seconds out ahead of Brandon Sheets. But here's the thing: both Chris and Brandon took tires the last time. So, they burnt off their stuff here in 44 laps. All the way back here from third on back to sixth, they didn't take tires. So their stuff was, already had some wear on them. Not much, but a little bit. And so they've been out here 44 plus on a set of their tires. I'm sure their tires right now, from Kyle Heath back here to Gary Slapinski to Zach Deuscher back here, and even further back, their tires right now are probably screaming at them, literally, going, if you go any more laps, gonna blow.
Yeah, they're probably very unsatisfied with their customer.
Man, I know if I was the four rubbers underneath there, I would probably have just gave up. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, they saw that caution come out like shortly after they got put on there. They were like, oh yeah, we're getting right off.
All right, so we are at 115. They have been out here 46 laps. We're going to find out how far they can go.
Yeah, can they extend this fuel mileage number even farther?
Like I said, Brantley and Darrell, I think they know their stuff. I think Brantley, being what he does here on a week-to-week basis, I think he's got a pretty good understanding of what the car can do. So,
oh yeah.
you know, I did say about 115, 116. We are on 116 now. He fixed it, hit 117. And Chris ain't coming down, so they're going to go at least another lap here. I am trying to check through the field here to see if anybody is going to shoot down pit road. And, you know, we don't have any takers, but we do have a good battle back here between Zach Deuscher and Keith Hurlbutt. So I guess we'll kind of hang out back here with these two and see if anything, well, nothing's going to transpire. Keith is going to go past the 21, and Jeff Gilmore is going to peek down to the inside of the 21 as well. So, well, see, I would have made a boneheaded call, you know, as a spotter, you know.
Well, in a spotter slash crew chief role, you know, you're just trying to do your best to get to a certain window. Like you said, this is the window. The window is open for sure.
Yeah, the window is open.
Just waiting for our first pit takers is the next thing. Good possibility that these drivers are just able to save and get 50 laps out of it.
Yep. And Chris Paff is coming up on the 4. Mark Emery here, who has got up to a 16th. Mark not having the best of luck again here tonight. However, he did pick up a couple of spots here over Phillip and Gomez. So up to 16th, but man, starting 7, just the luck didn't fall in his favor again tonight. And they have just hit lap 120. So Daryl and Brantley, that is why y'all are up there, and that is why I'm down here. And I don't owe you any money there, Daryl, because I didn't take the bet. But now, where do they? Oh, here we go. Chris Paff down. Brandon Sheets is going to stay out another lap. He's going to take it to 120. Think he's staying out to lead a lap. Bonus point will be going to Brandon Sheets. Here comes Hartwell down pit road. Robbie Stewart down pit road. Slapinski, Whitley, Heath all staying out. Campbell staying out. Hurlbutt staying out, it looks like. No, they haven't come around the turn yet. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, they stood up.
Yeah, they did stay. Oh, okay. They were coming out of 2. My bad. Looked at it wrong.
You're good.
Man, oh man. All right. Here comes Sheets. Here comes Kyle. Here comes Whitley. Slapinski, Campbell.
Kyle Heath gained a lot on Sheets. Something happened with Sheets. He lost a lot of time to Heath on the pit entry.
Maybe, oh, let's see here. Where is Sheets? There he is. Yeah, I see Sheets there. Yep. So Campbell did stay out. 53 laps. Good Lord Almighty. For Christopher. I think Campbell. Okay, here comes Christopher Campbell now down pit road. Keith Hurlbutt down pit road. Austin down pit road. Man, okay, so they threw out, maybe I was just playing the safe notion there when it came to pit strategy here.
Right.
Coming in early in the pit. Maybe late in the race like this, you don't play it safe. You just keep going.
Well, sometimes it is better just to, so you don't have to pit that extra time, if you can. But like you said, we gonna be very close. We suspect that it is gonna be a splash of fuel at the end. Not gonna get to
167, 123. Chris has been out here 2 laps. Now 3. Chris has led 42 laps since he took over the lead. Good job, Chris. So 167 minus 124. It's still going to leave. Whoops, I did that totally wrong. See, this is why.
I think Chris pitted at 122, didn't he?
Yeah, that's going to put him, let's see, 43's been out here 4 laps now. So that's going to put him at around that 46, 47 mark, right at the bubble. I still think Chris can save, can
Yeah,
save
everybody
a couple.
should be good from here,
Yeah,
yes.
everybody should be good from here. Now, we do get a late race yellow.
That's just going to turn the race up on its head, yes.
Yeah, will we see drivers stay out for track position and, bank on
everybody's
the fuel?
going to come in at that point.
Oh, they
maybe.
have to. I would say they have no choice.
Get that final set of tires, if you do have that set of tires.
Yeah, but then again, I've been wrong before. I've jinxed people tonight. I was wrong, sort of wrong on fuel strategy. So we've had our fair share of things here tonight. I didn't do it at halfway, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Shout outs to everybody that has tuned in and is tuning in out here tonight. 19 of you tuning in, 9 likes. 1 shy from 10. Can we hit 15, 20 likes out here tonight for these guys here at the Harpoon Design Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series here this Sunday night? Big shout out to Brantley Road out there and Harpoon Design for coming on board again this season and sponsoring the series. So Brantley, again, thank you, buddy. Brantley, he does paints here on iRacing and in real life as well, I do believe. So if y'all want a paint done by Brantley Roden, you can go to tradingpaints.com and look at all of his amazing paints that he has done. I think over 2,000 or so paints. If you want a custom paint done, hit up Brantley Roden out there. He'll hook you up with an awesome paint, custom done for your car and your liking, what you want. And I've seen some of the paints that he's done, and we've even got a few out here as well. So big shout out to, of course, again, Brantley. Big shout out to Robbie Darnell and all the admins over here at the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series that put on this league. I know Robbie is not here tonight, but he is out there tuning in. So, Robbie, big shout out to you, buddy. Even though you're not here, you're watching, tuning in, getting all greasy and oily of fixing that car up. But thank you, bud, for, allowing me to be a part of it again. Will Roberts, as always, bud, big shout out to you for helping me on Sunday nights. I think this is the most talking you have ever done, other than your other broadcasts that you do.
All right. I appreciate you, letting me come in and work with you. I appreciate, getting to call these SRU Cup races every Sunday night with you. So it's a joyful experience, that's for sure.
Yep. And a big shout out to all the fans out there, like I said, that is tuning in. Brantley, Daryl, John Black, Robbie Darnell, Steve Tucker. My brother was even out there a few minutes ago. My brother, he's joined the iRacing broadcasting area, been helping me out a few nights a week. So, big shout out to my brother for coming on board and hanging out with us in chat here too. BNR Racing Network out there spotting for Philip Bridgman, and he is hanging out in chat here tonight. Brendan Kennedy, a big shout out to you as well. And of course, anybody that I missed, I do apologize, but we do appreciate y'all coming out here. And we're at 132 laps here, folks, of the 167. Chris Paff right there up in the lead. Kyle Heath has got second, but Mark Whitley is breathing down Kyle here, coming up on him. Brandon Sheets fourth, and Gary Slapinski right now in that fifth spot. It is not over yet by any means. Will we get a late race yellow, and everything is going to be thrown out the window. All strategy is going to be thrown out. Everything. It's all going to come down to who has that set of tires left and who can manage what they got if they don't have a set of tires left.
This has been a tremendous race for Chris Praff, though. Got to give him credit where credit is due. And just, pouncing on on the rest of his competitors as far as, taking that set of tires, taking a chance,
Yeah.
risking it for the biscuit, basically, taking that set of tires, you know, when his other 4 or 5 competitors in front of him just was like, no, I may need that set of tires later. We might, just good possibility. Who knows?
Yeah.
I want to save those tires. And for the moment, they have been proven wrong. And Chris Pratt, man, he has sailed away. He is doing everything correctly that he has needed to do.
Battle for second.
And
Battle for second. Chris Paff.
yes,
Not Chris
Mark
Paff.
Whitley.
Mark Whitley and Cal Heath. So I've been talking about Chris Paff here, and I got Chris on my mind.
Mark Whitley kind of almost hit the flat, almost hit the apron, almost walked up into Kyle Heath on that bottom lane.
He had to back off
But-
of a little bit just to not to get into him,
Mhm.
and very respectful. Mark did back off there and kind of let Kyle get back up in there, and I think Mark's probably going to
Got it.
try it again. But here's the thing, Will. Mark's got to be careful. He cannot burn those tires up trying to get around Kyle Heath. He has got to time it just right. He burns those tires up trying to get around Kyle. Mark's going to be sitting in a pretty bad predicament when it comes to actually trying to get around Kyle. Get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I wonder what happened to Brandon Sheets.
He's back here in fourth. He is about 3 seconds back. He did lead a lap, so he did get a bonus point, but
Well, he pitted after. Okay, so he waited a lap,
yeah, he's
And-
only been out here
and-
15 laps.
but he should be, just 4 or 5 seconds. He should be in second place, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, he
So,
had a 15.1 second pit box stop. A little bit longer than all the rest of them. Not
I don't know
much,
if it
but-
was. Don't know if it was the in lap or the out lap. We did see he lost a lot of time to Kyle Heath.
Yeah.
Getting into the pits. We know that Kyle Heath normally can get all he can get. He is a hard charger getting into the pits. So don't know if he just had a bad in lap and out lap, but he
Well,
has lost a lot of ground
yeah.
for what he did have.
And he's fixing to lose another position if he doesn't hold off Gary Slapinski here. And that is
Gary's
bringing-
got him.
Not yet. I think you might be right there. Yeah, he's got him down into 3. So
Brandon Hartwell's going to follow.
And Hartwell bringing it up through here now, battle of the 2 of Sheets. So we've got this battle back here. Then we've got a potential battle still yet for second between Kyle and Mark. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. I think Kyle's going to make Mark get around him. Kyle is not going to
definitely.
give him that inside line.
Kyle Heath really making Mark Whitley work for it, like you say.
Whoa, Mark
And-
got a little loose coming out of 4 into the tri-oval.
You just see how difficult it is here at Texas. This battling pair.
Yep.
Mark has got different chances, but just wasn't able to fully complete the pass on
Nope.
Kyle Heath. Looking back now at Brandon Hartwell, this battle group back here, he's been following Gary.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and real quickly and bring it over here. Sorry to put this in front of the screen here, folks, but I want everybody to take a look at it. Here is our winner so far in the chase. Kyle Heath, Michael DeWalt, and Kyle Heath. That's all we've got. Of course, like we alluded to earlier, Mark Whitley was dominant in the regular season. Kyle did win going all the way back to April 30th, Dover. He did win the race there at Dover. And then, of course, it kind of flip-flopped through there. Kevin Roy got a win there. We are, of course, now down here into the chase. Tonight, Texas, Talladega next week. That is going to be, super speedway racing. It's going to be a crapshoot. Anybody can win it. And I think still yet tonight, I think anybody can win it here tonight. So we're not done.
Yes, closing in are about at the 25 lap to go mark. So Still, this side-by-side battle for second place, second and third, still going at it. Mark Whitley, Kyle Heath. Does Mark Whitley have the proper lane, the momentum? Is he going to have the right drive? No, still
No,
can't.
he's got that line.
Yeah, that outside
Yeah.
momentum going through 1 and 2, like we talked about earlier, basically at the start of the race, how Mark Whitley, it roles in reverse. Mark Whitley had that outside lane going through 1 and 2 from the opening race, and now he's just kind of fighting, struggling, clawing everything he can on that bottom lane.
Oh, now I'm going to try it down into turn 1 here and seeing if he can take that line away. He gets side by side with Kyle. Then out of 77, did it again. Got loose. That dirty air wheel, I think it's playing a factor with Mark Whitley right now. Stop being friendly to him.
That, and also just trying to get back to the throttle as well out of turn number 2. Going through 1 and 2, you're out of throttle for so long. You're being kind of aero dependent there, like your air is getting kind of taken off the nose of your car as well in certain situations.
Ooh, Brandon Hartwell had a little moment back here. He's all right in that Michigan paint. Michigan and Detroit Lions. I should have known. But Chris Paff, man, 65 laps under his belt right now. Mark Whitley's got 75. So Mark right now still holds the most laps led. But here in about 10 laps, Chris Paff is going to be able to be knocking on that door for the most laps led. Now, I do think Chris is more worried about winning the race than leading the most laps. Chris back here bringing up the points. 20 to go here tonight, folks. And bringing up the point standings coming into tonight. Chris Paff was 50 points behind Mark Whitley, but only 14 behind Brandon Sheets, who Brandon right now running in that 6th spot. So if everything holds as it sets right now, will it? We don't know. But if everything does, I think Chris would have enough to get by Brandon. I don't think he'd have enough to get by Kyle and Mark, but I think he would get around Brandon Sheets. Just kind of throwing it out there.
Exactly.
And
just from the...
Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm just going to agree with you. Just from the looks and the points of everything, could make some moves for sure. Some of these guys in the point standings.
Well, taking a look at chat here, Brantley said something about "we love you," and I think that's going back to what I was alluding to about me being a broadcaster and then talking, being able to talk to chat and everything. So, well, Brantley, I do appreciate that, man. I really do. And then Robbie alluding to what I said about getting oily and greasy working on a car. He says, I don't know why, but my wife finds me more attractive after I make repairs. Well, maybe because you get the car running again.
Yeah, it's kind of like people in uniform. Women like people in uniform, or all sorts of different. Anywho, that's.
Well, Will too. I'm gonna pick on Robbie and Robbie's wife here a minute. Because I can get away with it, I think. But if the car ain't running, she can't go shopping.
Exactly. Good point. Yes.
Then Robbie ain't gonna be happy. So you got to get the car running. I know Robbie's gonna kill me for that one, but. Sorry, Robbie, had to do it. Oh, man. Sure, I'm not going to hear the end of that one. All right, Mark, still trying to get around Kyle. We've been kind of eyeballing and watching that. Jeff Gilmore. Oh, Gary Slapinski on the apron. Oh, he's got heavy damage. No yellow on that. What happened to Gary here? Golly, that 78 is destroyed.
Oh, he was battling with Brandon Hartwell.
Yeah, and it looks
going into the corner.
right there is where the contact was. 25 was on the inside. Looked like some contact there. And that sent the 78 up there to the outside wall. Pieces flying everywhere. No yellow on that. And he is on pit road. Gary's not probably done.
Thank goodness I'm not a race director. But Gary could have been trying to get down in side draft, or like we alluded to earlier, maybe ride the competitor a bit closer, pinch him down maybe, or just kind of arc it back down to the bottom. But Brandon was there, or maybe just misjudgment. Good possibility, that as well. So close racing here towards the end of this race. Final 15 laps to go, and
coming up on Austin here, who's a lap down. Let's see if Austin makes way for the 13 of Kyle Heath, the 77 of Mark Whitley, 43 is going to the outside here, so that is going to make way for the 13 to squeeze by. There's the 43, 77 coming around. It's going to open the door up now for the 77, and he's not going to be able to get down there. 13 got it down there just in time to, I wouldn't necessarily say throw a block on Mark Whitley, but he threw a block on Mark Whitley.
Next person to come up to put a lap down for this pair will be Jason Adams.
Oh, y'all going on vacation in the morning. Oh, well, come by and get me. I want to go with you. I want to go on vacation. You'll have to bring me back, though, Wednesday, because I got a broadcast Thursday, so. I love picking on Robbie.
Jason Adams gets up and out of the way.
All right, let's get up to Jason. Yeah, he did get out of the way here. I'm trying to pay attention to chat here, too, trying to do this and that and the other. But, man, good battle at second and third right here. 10 to go, folks. 10 laps to go. And I think Chris, now they have gained a little bit of time on Chris. 6.5 seconds, though Kyle and Mark right there, 6.5 seconds behind Chris. Chris, he's got his foot right now in the door. It is his race to lose.
Oh, yes, most certainly. I do agree.
He's going to have to yell out the door and tell Tara to leave him alone. Sorry, Tara, I had to do it. Larry Blair out in chat here tonight. Larry, that's who we're missing. Larry's not out here racing with the guys. I'm sure Tara's probably going to end up killing me for that one. It's all right. Man, I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead before next week.
I love seeing Larry around, whether it's in chat or also on the track. I think Larry's I think he's part of that 5 or 6 car, Adams and Heath and everybody. I think he would be one to ask about who is the teammates as well.
Yeah, Larry, and we want to know, Gary is out of the race. He did take his car behind the wall. Who is teammates out here for SRU? I know we got a few of them. I know, the only one I know is Gary and Mark off the top of my head. I know we got a few of them out here. I didn't know if Chris was Kyle's teammate, Brandon's teammate. I don't know any of that. I need you to make me a list here, bud, and send that to me. Well, Mark Whitley has fallen off now to about a second, roughly, behind Kyle Heath with 6 laps to go. Coming to 5 to go this time by. It is still in Chris's hands. We can't rule that that out, though, Will. I don't want to say it because I know if I say it, it's going to happen. But you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly,
we
those
can't.
dreaded cautions.
Yes, and you said it.
So, Gary,
Well,
and Mark are teammates. Adams, Heath, there's a bunch of those guys that.
okay.
Deutscher and Bridgman are teammates.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to remember. There's a couple more that we're forgetting or just don't know. But
Everybody kind of spread out now. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. We got drivers. Well, we got Chris coming around, Christopher Campbell here to try to put him one lap down, and he's going to do just that. Christopher's just not even going to fight him to stay on the lead lap.
Campbell getting a top 10, ninth place.
Yeah, and I wouldn't, if I was Campbell this late into the race, maybe if it was lap 20, 30 laps into the race, I might have fought the leader a little bit to try to stay on the lead lap. But, this late in the race, I think Christopher did the right thing. I think, getting out of the way, just let the leader, Chris Paff, go by. Not even worried about it. Just, solid top 10, be done with it, go into next week, and, fight for Talladega, because that's going to be a handful. This was a handful tonight, don't get me wrong, but I think Talladega is going to be another one of those. It's going to be a make it or break it for some of the drivers. 2 to go here tonight, folks.
Chris Pratt, Brandon Sheets, Robbie Stewart, and Keith Hurlbert are teammates, I do believe, from what Robbie just said in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, Talladega, most certainly another one of those make it or break it races, or just another unknown. Like you never know what to expect.
Yep.
Earlier you called it a crapshoot. I have to agree with you on that as well.
It is. 1 to go here tonight, folks. There it is. Chris Paff has got, now coming out of two more turns to bring it home into victory lane. He will lead the most laps here tonight, 85. It'll be 86 when he hits the stripe here tonight. He just has to get around and out of turn number 4 safely. Out of 4, the Gatorade 22, Chris Paff bringing it home here tonight into victory lane. Cal Heath grabbing a P2 spot. Mark Whitley grabbing the final podium finish here tonight in 3rd. Brandon Hartwell in 4th there at the line, and Brandon Sheets grabbing the top 5. But our podium finishers here tonight, our winner, Chris Paff, 2nd, Cal Heath, and 3rd, Mark Whitley. We'll get the top 3 up here for the MaxspeedTV post-race show here in just a minute, folks. Hang tight. We're going to watch Chris burn it up here. We already seen Kyle give him a little bit of a, congratulations tap there. So hang on, folks. We will be right back. Alrighty, folks. I've caught up with our top three here tonight. Let's go ahead and pull up our winner here. The number 22 of Chris Paff here tonight. Bringing it home in the victory lane. Chris, you're going to lead 86 laps here tonight, buddy. Kind of like what Mark did earlier. You know, once he took over the lead, he never looked back. Once you grabbed the lead, you never looked back. So, awesome job out here tonight, buddy. But I know it was tough. We could see it out there. You did a little strategy call out there with taking tires, and a lot of other drivers did not. So talk about that, and just talk about your overall race out here tonight and how you managed to grab the victory here tonight at Texas.
I mean, it was a 100% strategy call, Josh. When you interviewed me coming out of that pit stop, I knew that these guys were going to be slow because they didn't take tires, and if it wasn't for that and this race going green the rest of the way, I probably would not be here talking to you.
Well, you didn't say your strategy, and we really didn't know your strategy even looking at it. Me and Will did notice that you had, a 14 plus second stop pit. That usually means you're taking tires and fuel. So it was obvious at that point you took tires, but we didn't know exactly if you were banking on another yellow, hoping it would go green. What was your mindset? You already knew what you was going to do. Tell us exactly what you was hoping for.
I was hoping for exactly what you seen, and this is why I'm being interviewed in P1. I needed it to go green, and I knew as quick as I was off that restart that they didn't take tires, and I was just trying to hold that lead, and pretty much spent the rest of my entire race of trying to maintain the car, not wreck, not do anything silly, get the tires upset, and pray for no cautions.
Well, you got exactly what you hoped for. Now, just throwing it out there, if we did so happen to get a late race yellow, do you think that would have bit you?
Absolutely. Yep. There's no way. I didn't have the long race pace that I needed. I mean, I might have been top five, but that would probably been the best that I would have been able to get.
Man, well, hey, it worked out for you, man. It always comes when you least expect it. And I know you was hoping for it to do what it did, and it did. So it worked out for you. Now, that's not to say in the upcoming races the strategy is going to play in the same favor because week to week you just don't know what's going to happen. But at least you got it out of the way here tonight.
I'm so glad, man. Like 2.5 seasons, almost 3 full seasons that I've been running in here, and I've not won. And to get my first win at a mile and a half like that on strategy, it feels I'm over the top. I'm lost for words, honestly.
Wow. Well, I did allude to earlier. I know you was coming around. I think it was like 25 to go or 20 to go or something like that. I did mention that you're going to need to yell out of your racing room to Tara to leave you alone because the way you was running, 6 to 8 seconds ahead of second place. Did she leave you alone?
Yeah, she didn't. She sure did. The door stayed closed, man. Yeah, I was left alone the whole time.
Well, now she can run in there and give you a big old smooch, man.
Absolutely. I'll probably run in there and give her a smooch. Is probably what's going to happen.
All right. Well, we do go to a track next week's crapshoot, Talladega, buddy. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's a crapshoot. You said it. Strategy that played out for me to get this win today is not going to play out next week for that. So just plan to try to miss the big one or the multiple big ones and be there at the end.
Yeah,
that's where I want to be at.
Pretty much all you can hope for going into next week. Well, I do believe here you're going to make a pass over Brandon Sheets. Possibly you were 14 behind him coming into tonight. Brandon finished back into that 5th spot. So you're probably going to jump up into 3rd in the point standings. We still have some races to go, Chris. Anything definitely can happen. You're not out of it by a long shot. So, awesome win out here tonight, buddy. Great points going for you, Chris, man. So, do you have any, final thoughts, shout-outs, things you want to get before you go celebrate?
Yeah, man. I just want to thank this whole league, man. These group of guys in here. I know we got our times, up and down and drama every once in a while, but I mean, we are always got each other's backs, and I love racing with these guys every week. I appreciate all my teammates that keep my head in the game. We all try to keep each other grounded, try to keep each other hyped up, no matter what position it is on track that we're racing for. And but definitely the wife for first and foremost, Tara. She holds the fort down, allows me to be able to do this on Sundays and get away with fatherly husbandly duties. Uh, I'd like to thank Robbie Darnell for running this league. This paint scheme that he made for me and made for Brandon Sheets. It's beautiful. I love it. Um, Shout out to Dave. I hope he's watching. I miss him. Miss hearing him and seeing him post, often.
Yeah.
But that's really about it, man. I'm tickled. I'm ready to go celebrate.
All righty, we're gonna celebrate, buddy. We're not gonna keep you any longer, Chris. We'll see you next week at Nega, buddy.
See you, bud.
See ya. All right, well, that is going to bring us here to our second place finisher here tonight. The Memory Designs 13, Kyle Heath. Now, Kyle's already got 2 wins. I know he was shooting for a third one here, but hey, the momentum is still going for you, Kyle, buddy. I know it's a hard-fought battle out here tonight, and I know you even said it. You hate this track, but I mean, second place, dude, a podium finish. Another good points night coming into tonight, buddy. Man, talk about it. Your struggles, your ups and downs, your battles you had to go through, the strategy call out there. And, man, we got to hear from you, Kyle.
Yeah, man. The first part of the run before the stage, man, I don't know what it was. My car was so it was loose at the same time it was so daggum tight, and I didn't have nothing for anybody really. And that second long run we had a caution came in and took some fuel, and I didn't know for sure if I should have took tires or not, and I didn't. I kind of assumed it was going to have a caution, and it never did fall into place. But that second long run we had, man, my tires were gripped up. It felt really good, and that after that last pit cycle, I was saving some of my stuff, and I was just trying to stay ahead of Mark Wheeler. We had a good battle there, and I was able to stay ahead of him. And I think he smacked the wall behind me, and that really screwed up his car. And I was able to walk away. If I had, I don't know, maybe 10 more laps, I probably could have caught Chris, because I don't know if he was saving or if his stuff was wore out, but I was catching him ever so slightly
Yeah.
every lap. I was ticking him down, but I ran out of laps. But congrats to him though for that win. It was a long waited for him, and he's been up there in the front. Congrats to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you're not going to take anything away from you, Kyle, man, because it was you fighting on fighting Mark Whitley out here for those long, green flag runs. It's not hard, or it's not hard. It's hard to fight off a driver like Mark Whitley. I know you and him have had y'all's ups and downs together, and y'all have had y'all's fair share of battles. But I gotta say, with the way y'all battling out here tonight, I mean, it could have gone either way, and you did leave the door open there. On some of those turns, I don't think you done it by intentional, but it seemed like once Mark would get to the inside of you, you had it coming out of the corner, so it worked out for you. But man, talk about it. Was you worried when he was on the inside?
Yeah, I was worried. She was kind of art my car in there, and that way I can get a better drive off, especially in 1 and 2. It was very hard for me to drive it down low and able to keep my speed up. But I knew if he got on the inside of me, I had the high line. I was able to have the momentum, and I'm surprised I was able to stay ahead of him. If I knew if I was going to let him around me, I wasn't going to be able to pass him back because he's just that strong. I was happy to be able to stay in front of him, and what helped me out, which was downside to him was smacking that wall, and I was able to pull away from him.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think if he'd have smacked the wall, he'd have been right there. He'd have been right there with you.
Yeah,
So, well, Kyle, man, we go to Talladega next week, buddy. Crap shoot. Anybody could win it. How do you feel about going from Texas to a super speedway?
I feel better actually. To be honest with you, I mean, just stay out of trouble. That's pretty much what you got to do, and just be there at the end. You know, no, nobody is safe when it comes to Talladega racing. I don't care who you are, nobody's safe.
No.
Even the pace car is not safe.
Even the pace cars, right? I mean, you ain't wrong. On that one, we let's hope we don't see a lot of yellows next week because just pacing at Talladega is about as bad as pacing at Pocono. It's rough. And it takes forever to get around the track. But yeah, anybody can win the race. I mean, you, Mark, Jason. I mean, it's anybody. Pace car can even win it at that point. So you know, you already got a couple of wins. You got good points not again coming into tonight, buddy. Going into Talladega, we've still got, you know, several races left here in the chase. So, you know, definitely going to it's not a shutout by any means when it comes to the championship. Anybody can still grab it. So, I know you've got a few, you know, final thoughts, shout outs, thanks you want to give here tonight, Kyle. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, give a big shout out to Robbie. Sucks that he wasn't here tonight. He had a unforeseen circumstance that he had to take care of. Shout out to the whole league. I mean, it's been a fun league, and I think this is my third full season here, and it's been one hell of a ride. Shout out to Dave. I don't know if he's still out there, what he's doing. I hope he'll pop in and cuss us out one good time or something. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my wife. She, you know, she holds the household together, and of course she sponsors my car, and she lets me do this on a Sunday nights, which she really hates. But you know what? She lets me live my dream.
Well, hey, that's, you know, that's what it takes, bud. So, um, we I don't know, man. This season's been kind of weird, but you know, it's another season. You know, strange, but it's been another season. Great season. We're still not done, bud. So I'm gonna let you go here tonight, man. Awesome job again out here tonight, buddy. Led 3 laps, got some bonus points. Yet, you know, yet again. So we'll see how it stacks up going into Dega next week, Kyle. Go celebrate P2. We'll see you next week, man.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us up here to our third place finisher, Mark Whitley, battling out there for that second spot with Kyle there at unforeseen circumstances with the Harpoon Racing. The Harpoon designed a Racing 77 car out here. Well, Mark, man, you had a strategy out there here tonight. Just like the other two, you know, we got to hear from you. How did it work out for you? How did it, you know, didn't help you? And, man, what happened out there to kind of fall back here on, well, what happened to you first, you know, there when you hit the wall? We gotta hear it, man.
I was just pushing really hard, trying to get around Kyle, and just kind of tail slapped it a little bit, just pushing too hard. Yeah, it's just I feel like the whole playoffs we've just been on either wrong side of strategy or just had a little bit of bad luck, and you know it's kind of hard to say that. You know, I think this is third place finish in the playoffs, so you can't really complain too much. But yeah, I feel like this race we were doing really good. We were controlling the race really well, and there was a little time there. You know, after about 20 lap run, we just needed another set of tires to be confident of taking one then. And you know, those guys risked it. They went ahead and took those tires, and they shot out like a bat out of hell, and just took off. And you know, it just didn't get any cautions to really you know catch back up to them. I mean, me and Kyle, I think, ran down path a little bit there on that last run, but I think he was just really taking it easy because he had a huge lead just while you know, everything gets cycled out. So, really, I mean, after, you know, as long as it's caution didn't come out, me and Kyle were just racing for second. And I was trying real hard. You know, me and him battling for the points. So, you know, I figured if I was trying to finish in front of him, but, you know, just pushed it a little bit too hard and just got in the wall a little bit. And after that, that was pretty much the last shot I had at it. So, weird to say disappointed, but the way, you know, the first half of the race went, a little disappointed with the finish. But honestly, you know, probably, I don't think we lost any points to Kyle. We might have even gained just because we finished a couple in front of him during the stage. So, you know, Talladega next week's kind of, I'm nervous about it because that track, I mean, nowhere safe. You can't, there's really no anywhere safe there. Yeah, I've been wrecked in the lead. I've been wrecked, been dead last in the pack. So, just gonna hope for the best. And, you know, we got a tiny bit of a cushion right now, but, you know, it's still, you know, I think Talladega is the midway point of the playoffs, and it's still really tight. So can't rest on your laurels right now. That's for sure.
No, yeah, Talladega's round number 5. So and then we got 5 more races after that. So yeah, Talladega would be considered the halfway mark, and then of course we got one of my all-time favorite tracks. You know, when you get on to iRacing, it's one of the tracks you race at all the time, and I say it all the time, Mark. If you don't know Charlotte, you got to get off iRacing because you race so much on Charlotte when you join iRacing that you should know that track like the back of your hand.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to Charlotte. Charlotte's been pretty good for me lately. Won a different league race there Friday night, so yeah, hoping we can continue some good momentum. Maybe get off this little bit of a slump we're in right now, get back to victory lane, and hopefully try to put some pressure on Kyle for the championship.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I mean, we still got races to go. It's definitely going to be close, Mark. I know we're not going to keep you any longer than we have to. You've already alluded to Talladega, so, we don't really even have to talk about that. Talking about it a little bit, what, with the strategies there at Talladega, pit stops, you guys could be 2 and 3 wide coming up on that pit stop cycle. How do you manage getting down onto the inside to get ready for those pit stops if you're stuck on the outside? How do you do that?
Hope there's a gap, and if you need to make a gap,
If you need to make a gap. Well, I get. I mean, just put it bluntly, why don't you? I mean, well, alrighty then. You heard it from Mark Whitley. Make a gap if you can't get down there. Alrighty, Mark. Well, awesome job out here, buddy. I know you got some final thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give, man. So, Mike's yours.
yeah, big shout out Brantley. He's doing the spotting and the paint job work for me and Gary. Shout out him, Harpoon Design. Check him out and get something made for custom. Shout out to the league. We had a lot of green flag racing tonight. It was really good to see. Kind of we're on the bad end of it at the end of the race, but it's still always glad to see all the green flag racing we had. And shout out to my family tuning in these broadcasts of races, man. I really appreciate it. Taking time out of their weekend to sit at a TV and watch me race, a virtual race car around the track. So appreciate them, and for you putting on a great broadcast. Should be fun to go back and watch.
It was entertaining. We had fun with Chad again out here tonight. Mark, just out of curiosity, you know how big of a TV they're watching the races on?
50, 60 inch, something like that.
Tell them to get an 87 curved. No,
I'll let them know. We got Black Friday coming up soon.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, all right. Well, Mark Whitley grabbing the third place spot here. Try to get back up there to the winner's circle. We'll see what he can do next week at Talladega. Mark, go celebrate third here tonight, buddy. We'll see you next week, man.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Wanted to give these guys some interviews out here tonight, and I think we kind of covered it, Will. So, I got to say it was a great, great race by these guys. I mean, you just look at, the amount of laps that they did compared to the cautions. They had that stage caution and then that one lonely caution that they had. And, it is only 9 o'clock Central, so 10 o'clock Eastern. They really, wound down this race quickly, and we even had some amazing battles out there. We didn't have any 3 wide out there, though, dadgummit.
Yes, unfortunately, no 3 wide situations arose tonight, but surely next week at Talladega, Joshua, I think we should see some 3 wideness. But you never know what to expect whenever you go to Talladega. Those restrictor plate drafting tracks, super speedways, however you prefer to call it, got it. Like you alluded to, they can be kind of a crapshoot. They can be caution filled, or they can just be go from the drop of the green flag. But always love to see races at Talladega. They normally provide some good and great racing. And have to see what type of strategies are going to unfold next week, Joshua.
Oh, yeah, it's all going to come down to survival and strategy, I do believe. If you get into an accident at Talladega, restrictor plate racing, or, super speedway, like you said, whatever you call it, you get damage out there, and it's not going to be the slightest amount of damage. When you wreck at a track like Talladega, your night is probably more than likely going to be done, because there's about a 99% chance if you get into a wreck, it's going to do some major damage. And it's all because of the how big the track is, the speeds that they carry, Will. I mean, you don't really have time to react at those tracks.
Oh no, no time at all. Just like you said, the speed that they're carrying, they're going like 190, if not 200 miles per hour, and in the draft, by themselves, they're much slower, but it's very hard to react. Things can happen in the blink of an eye at Daytona, Talladega, even New Atlanta. So, um, congrats to Chris Praff and the podium finishers tonight. Also, everybody that showed up and competed here tonight at Texas. It, pretty average Texas race, I would have to say. Even though we didn't really see the cautions I was kind of expecting tonight. But uh, in a way, very grateful. You talk about it a lot. You don't really like to see the cautions. You never really like to do. So, good thing that we saw the green flag running that we did tonight. So, like I said, big congratulations to Chris Pratt bringing home that win. Like he said, at this about, I believe he said this is his third season. So, uh, good to see him finally get a win in the SRU Cup Series. And also, he took away the most laps led tonight from Mark Whitley as well. So.
Yeah, man, it was one heck of a race out here tonight. We're to get down here to the unofficial results, pretty good admin stuff they have to do. But Chris Paff, the Greater 822 machine, grabbing the victory out here tonight. His first win in the chase. And I think, like you said, I think that was that. I don't think that was his first win overall, was it? I could have sworn he's gotten some wins. I would have to go back and look at it. But however, he is going to grab the win out here tonight. Kyle Heath there in that P2 spot. Mark Whitley in third. Brandon Hartwell in fourth. Brandon Sheets fifth. Zach Deuscher in sixth. Jeff Gilmore seventh. Robbie Stewart in eighth. Christopher Campbell ninth. And Austin Slayers in 10th. Keith Hurlbutt in 11th. Kevin Roy in 12th. Jason Adams 13th. Michael Dewalt 14th. Gary Slapinski 15th, Mark Emery 16th, Philip Bridgman 17th, Gomez, Mark Koshik 18th. Paul Cohen did not start here tonight. But again, our winner goes to Chris Paff here tonight. Thank you, everybody, again for tuning in here tonight on MaxspeedTV. Myself, Joshua Medlock, and Will Roberts up here in the booth calling the action. Will Talladega, man, next week. Should be a fun and entertaining race. We are going to look forward to it. Same time, same place, folks. 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central, right here on MaxspeedTV. Until next week, folks, stay safe. Thank you all again, and have a good night.